Hey YouTube, it's Mark.
And Rocky.
And we are
This Cruise Life.
We are coming to you from a very special location for today's video.
We are outside of Fizz Champagne Bar on board MSC World America for the inaugural cruise.
We wanted to tell you all about our first 24 hours, from embarking the ship to the food we tried, the drinks,
the entertainment.
Oh my gosh. So let's go.
We'll start with the embarkation process, and that all begins in this brand new cruise terminal that MSC Cruises has built in Miami. It is the world's largest.
It starts right when you're dropped off or after you park. You come to Terminal AA, or as MSC brands it, Terminal. That's a cute touch. There are screens everywhere with MSC World America branding, as well as directing you where to go.
Yes, and there were crew members there as well to give you assignments and help you know where to go, including where to go to check in for your cruise, which was all of these automated systems. It was so cool. You scan your passport, the machine takes your picture, matches it up with your passport, and everything is good. You walk on through.
Super cool, super slick. Now, there were crew members there to help people that were struggling, so don't worry if you're worried about that technology. From there, you go to the security checkpoints. Now, there were many security lanes. Of course, it makes sense for the number of people that are embarking these ships in Miami.
Right.
Tons of security lanes. Now, there were a couple of bottlenecks where people forgot to take stuff out of their pockets. Please don't be that person. But it was super smooth to get through.
Yes. And then from there, we entered the waiting area. And upon entering that, they gave everyone a little number to assign so that you knew when your boarding group would be called up.
We were 45,
we
so we got there a little bit later, but that's okay. That terminal has plenty of stuff to do. There are a bunch of vending machines, tons of seating.
Lots of restroom facilities.
It's true. MSC put up photo opportunities so you can take pictures with the World America backdrop.
Yep.
My only complaint about this terminal is it's brand new. It is beautiful because it's brand new, but it is so bland.
Yeah.
Our friend Max, who we're traveling with, said it kind of reminded him of maybe an airport terminal. I think about Norwegian's brand new cruise terminal in Miami with those twinkling lights, and you can't take pictures in there, but it's a beautiful terminal with a history museum.
Yes.
I think about Royal Caribbean's terminal in Miami, beautiful. This is nice.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have any sort of branding or personality.
It's just a nice modern building.
Yeah. Okay.
So from there, we waited for our numbers to be called. They got to 43 just before ours, and then...
So we are about to get on the ship. They called all zones at the same time. I'm not sure why they called all zones.
It's a little chaotic in here.
But
I'm not sure what's going on.
But we're heading to the ship.
That's fine.
That's what matters.
We'll be there.
Before that, I would have said this was probably the smoothest embark I have ever seen.
Yeah.
And considering the ship can hold 6,000 passengers, 6,000 plus passengers, I was super impressed.
And it was a little rough. They split everyone into two lines.
So they tried to manage it by splitting folks into two lines, and we got put into the manual processing line, where everyone had to show their barcodes. Despite being told, everyone was told, put your barcodes away. Now, normally on a cruise, if someone didn't have their barcode to get on the ship, I'd be like, come on. They literally told you to have that out. In this case, they told everyone to put the barcodes away, and so people would get up and they were like, we don't know where our barcode went. And so it created a big bottleneck getting on the ship. That was unfortunate. Again, it's an inaugural sailing, so I think a lesson learned, don't call all call at noon when your terminal is packed. Our boarding group was the very next one.
Once we got through all of that mess, it was time to actually walk the gangways and get onto the ship.
Yep.
And when we got on, it was in the World Promenade, that large indoor mall space.
Now, what I was surprised by, honestly, is there was nothing related to an inaugural sailing. There were no crew members greeting us. There were no parties. There was no exciting music.
No fanfare.
It was just like you were walking on any other cruise. And that's carried through the first 24 hours of our experience.
Yeah. So when we boarded, immediately it was right into that gallery area, and you got to see all of the different shops and restaurants and things to do.
Give them a cruise tip.
Hey, that first embarkation day, cruise tip, just walk through. Don't wait. Don't try to look at other stuff. Try to get through that as quickly as possible to avoid any frustration.
People stop and they're looking for their other party members that are in the group, or they stop to take pictures, or they stop to figure out where they're going, and they literally block that entire area. I promise you, you will have time to take pictures in that area. This guy was like a little frustrated. Just go through that area as quickly as you can. Come back later when it's a little less crowded.
Yeah, absolutely. Once we boarded the ship and got through the chaos, we made our way to our cabin to drop off our items. We will say just a quick preview. The cabin was very familiar to us. It's almost like they lifted and shifted that cabin from MSC Meraviglia. Very strange.
Honestly, you could put this on Meraviglia and it would fit right in.
It would. But we also picked up our sale cards from the cabins, and that's where we discovered one of the errors. Our dining time was actually scheduled for earlier than what was part of our confirmation. Fortunately, our friend Max, who's traveling with us, he took care of it. He went down to guest services and got us rearranged. There was just a lot of confusion there. I don't understand why it changed.
And guest services at first refused. They said, no, there are no dining changes. We're not making any dining changes. And we're like, well, we don't want to change our dining.
You changed our dining
We just
time.
want the dining we paid for. So this is why we pay for the Fantastica experience. So we can pick our dining time. I don't want to eat at 4 p.m. I'm sorry. I just don't. And so fortunately, they were finally able, on a piece of paper, handwritten out, here's your new dining time and dining room. So that was nice.
That was nice.
From the room.
Yep, that's when we head to muster, because that's a very important thing to get done before you set sail.
This is where we saw our first true MSC experience, where someone just cut right in front of the line and showed their barcode to the worker. Now, there was a line because there was no one at the muster station at first manning the booth. And so the guy shoves his barcode, and these people are all mad because they've been waiting in line. And we don't know if he spoke English or just pretended not to speak English, but he just stood there in front of those people. And so we started chatting to the ladies in line to kind of de-escalate the situation. It's an inaugural. This is one of the things people complain about with MSC is there's a lot of passengers culturally that just, they'll walk right up, they'll cut you off, and they say, here, it's my turn.
Yep. So we finally got through all of that. Now, one of the things that we did struggle with is that gentleman that decided to present himself ahead of the line, he not only presented his barcode, but he presented it for his entire family and demanded that the workers scan all of the barcodes, even though his family members were not present.
So muster is a maritime law. It's a maritime rule so that everyone knows where to go in case of an emergency. You never scan barcodes for people that are not present. In the case of a real emergency, these people don't know where to go, and it creates chaos and confusion on the ship. And so I'm hoping that the workers scan those barcodes just because it was an inaugural and it was a training issue. But MSC, that is something that I hope to see fixed. People have to attend their muster.
Once you're done with the mustering process, then you have to watch that safety video. It's about 10 minutes long. You have two options. You can watch it in the app, which was glitching for a lot of people, or you can do it from your cabin TV. Either way, you need to get that done. It was quick. It was easy.
But thank you, MSC, for doing away with watch it in your stateroom, dial that random number on your phone, and then go and muster. That was a thing of the past. Yes. We loved the new muster
Absolutely.
process. From there, we went up to Il Mercato to grab a little bit of lunch before we had our live with all of you. Go check that out if you missed it. Yes. We grabbed pizzas and pastas and all sorts of Italian dishes. Almost everything we had, we loved.
Yeah, that's very true.
I mean, it was really good.
It was good. It was a good start to our dining experience on MSC World America. Once Sail Talk Saturday ended, we made our way up to the Harbour, where we picked up these beautiful wristbands. Now, the Harbour is where you're going to find a lot of activities, from the ropes course to the jaw drop, big dry slide, as well as cliffhanger.
Oh my gosh. Y'all asked if we were going to do cliffhanger. The answer is yes. Not in the first 24 hours, but I promise Stay tuned. So there was a wait to get these, unfortunately. We don't know what was going on. People were frustrated. We waited probably 25 minutes in line for these things. And they had roving workers, but it was a little bit of a glitch, but okay, 25 minutes.
Yep, and now that we have these, we can go experience all of those things in the harbor whenever we choose, which is nice. Now, after we were done with that, we realized that it was approaching 5 o'clock, which meant that the spa free tours were going to be ending soon. So we made a mad dash down to the spa and took a tour of the space.
I mean, beautiful. It's a beautiful spa, absolutely gorgeous. Now, the worker did share with us that they only sell 20 cruise passes to ensure that the folks that have Aria experiences or the yacht club experiences, that it's not overwhelmed with people, because it is a smaller spa. There's steam room, there's a sauna, there's some cool
snow room.
Oh, the snow room. You'll see that in maybe the full review, trust me. There are rain showers. There were different foot baths.
Yeah, that was an
That
interesting
was
one. I'd never seen that
interesting.
before.
They've got some sort of machine that microwaves your body and zaps out the fats and stuff like that, so it makes you skinny.
Sure.
All sorts of interesting
Can't
stuff.
you
in
tell
this
we've done it? From there, we decided to make a quick stop over at Fizz Champagne Bar, which is actually where we are sitting right now. We had to get our champagne for sail away.
Of course, and it was a gorgeous sail away. There was a water cannon in the port of Miami celebrating MSC World America's inaugural voyage. That was a really nice touch. We turned around in the basin. Who did we get to see?
We got to see Norwegian Aqua, the brand new ship that's debuting for Norwegian Cruise Lines.
We are super excited to check that out. You can check out one of our videos here about that. But anyway, from there, we sailed away.
We did. We watched the sail away. It was beautiful, a gorgeous day. I really enjoyed that. After we finished the sail away, we headed down to the Bubbles restaurant for our dinner reservations at 7:30 at night.
Now, what I will say is dinner was okay. It was nothing special. The lasagna was so dry. Service was slow. Now,
Very.
it's an inaugural. That everyone was super friendly, which we absolutely love.
Yep.
But we expected some slow service in the dining room, and it did not disappoint. In fact, we had to cut our dinner a little short to run to...
Yes, we went down to the Panorama Lounge to catch a new show that I absolutely loved, and that was Queen Symphonic. If you know anything about me, you'll know that I have a special place in my heart for the Queen, the band, and the team that was a part of this show was phenomenal.
Y'all, Rocky sang along to every single song. I didn't know Queen had so many songs. Oh my gosh. It was awesome. There were aerialists, there were singers, dancers, and some cool technology surprises. We don't want to ruin it for you, but some cool technology surprises. And then after the show, it converted to a dance club. And so we got to go dance on some of that technology. It was super cool. We stuck around for a couple songs, but we didn't want to miss the other party going on the ship.
That's right. Miami Nights was happening in the Luna Park Arena, another venue that is unique to the world class of ships. And so we wanted to check it out and see how it was. Really cool setup. The party itself was, it was just okay. There wasn't a lot of people in attendance, but we kind of chalked that up to being the inaugural day, and a lot of people were tired from travel, etc.
They were searching everywhere else on the ship. There's so much space on the ship. From there, we went to the Loft. They had dueling pianos. Now, what I will say is I don't really understand what they were thinking. It's a super long venue, and the dueling pianos are at the very front. And so
I will say I've been to a dueling piano bar at sea, and that was on Holland America line.
Yeah.
And that dueling piano bar was amazing with the way it was set up compared to this one. With the one on Holland America line, you had the pianos right in the middle of the action, and you had people surrounding it. So there was wonderful interactions, and people could chime in, and they could sing along, and it was just really great.
But our bar servers, we stayed there because our bar servers were great. They made sure that our glasses did not go empty, so thank you to the Loft bartenders.
Absolutely. So from there, we decided to go upstairs to the main buffets to see if maybe there was a late night buffet offering.
There wasn't.
It was completely closed up.
Now, the crew member did let us know that, hey, head on back down to Deck 6, where we had just come from. Pizza and Burger is open late night, and it has those things, along with a whole bunch of other stuff. But before we stopped there, of course, we had to stop at Dolce Vita to get one more cocktail, just to make sure that they were consistent across the ship. And then we headed over to Pizza and Burger.
Yes. Pizza and Burger is great for late night offerings. Lots of good greasy food, burgers and chicken sandwiches. And hot dogs,
pizza
on the other
pizza.
side.
And I had these nacho flavored chips with all sorts of toppings and nacho cheese. It was so good. If I have to eat there the whole week, I would be glad to do that, and I will put on some pounds.
Yes, indeed. Well, after we stuffed ourselves silly, we of course were going to go into a food coma, and by this point it was pretty late in the evening, so we checked ourselves into our cabins for the night.
Yeah. Now, what I will say is the bed. It's an inaugural cruise. We're the first people sleeping in this bed. It is firm. It is a firm bed. With that said, I slept like a baby.
So did I.
It could have been the travel or the martinis. I'm not sure what it was, but I slept wonderfully in that bed. But keep in mind, if you don't like a firm bed, these beds for the next couple of months, maybe even this first year, they're going to be a firmer bed because they're brand new.
But the nice thing is they have a little pillow selection, and so you can have a firm pillow or a soft pillow. So it kind of offsets it a little bit.
Now, my only complaint about that room was the temperature. It was a warm night of sleep. Thankfully, we've got a portable fan that we take on every cruise. So if you need a cool room, I highly recommend that on MSC World America. Bring one of those portable fans because you're going to want it.
That's right. The next morning, we woke up and unpacked our suitcases. Now, I will tease you a little bit. There's a little bit of a struggle with storage inside the MSC World America cabin.
We were kind of worried about that when we first saw the cabin, and that came to fruition when we unpacked. Wow. Stick around for our room tour.
Absolutely.
Once we unpacked, we headed back up to the top of the ship to check out Cliffhanger. That's that over-the-sea swing that goes out. Well, we'll share more in our full review, so if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. But that is... It was worth waiting in this line to get this wristband, I'll tell you that much. That is what I will tell you in this preview. But that really wrapped up our first 24 hours on board, was that over-the-water swinging out into the sunshine over the side of the ship.
It was. Well, that is everything from our first 24 hours on board MSC World America. Now, let's talk about our initial reactions about this ship.
This ship reminds me very much of MSC Meraviglia. It has a very similar design throughout. In fact, you might be confused if you didn't know you were on a brand new ship. Now, the promenade at the aft of the ship, wildly different, with those two hotel towers and kind of that open air space there. That is a really cool touch. Gives us some Royal Caribbean vibes, not gonna lie. The long Galleria with that LED screen up at the top, again, gives Meraviglia vibes. Rocky already mentioned it, but the room, you could have just picked this room up from Meraviglia and put it on this ship. There's a lot of familiarity with this ship.
We did notice an absence of the Swarovski crystal staircase, which is a signature piece on an MSC ship.
Weird.
Mark can't go around saying Swarovski all over the place. It's so weird. We also are noticing that there's some really interesting, new, unique dining options on board World America, and I am really excited to check those venues out. And I will also mention that Queen Symphonic was an amazing show. I know I already said it before, but I absolutely loved the integration of Queen with the live musicians and aerialists and everything else that was a part of that show. It was really cool, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the other shows on board are.
Considering the size of the ship, there is no way we could check out all of the spaces in 24 hours. So we still have a lot of exploring to do. But what I will say is in that first 24 hours, there was nothing walking onto MSC World America that really took my breath away or made me go, wow. There was no inaugural celebration. Yes, people have announced, oh, you're on the inaugural cruise, but that's the extent of it. The spaces are very familiar. It feels like a MSC cruise ship, which I guess that's a good thing because it is MSC, but nothing that really took my breath away.
Right. If anything, there's consistency in design.
Pizza and burger was a highlight in my first 24 hours. There are a couple of things that we are noticing, and we'll see how it is the rest of the cruise, but a couple of hallways that just seem like afterthoughts to navigate your way around the ship. Again, we'll see. But overall, the first 24 hours, it's been nice. It's been good.
Yeah.
But I just feel like I'm on a bigger Meraviglia.
Well, that is everything that we wanted to share with you about our first 24 hours here on board MSC World America. Do you have any questions, any comments, anything that you want to see? Drop it in the comments below and we will respond to you.
Absolutely. And we are sailing away from Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic as we speak. I'm just going to turn the camera so you can see this, where we are. We're having a blast and wishing you were here.
Go ahead and hit the thumbs up on this video.
If you haven't already, click that subscribe button.
And be sure to smash that notification bell so you know when we put out all of our other content for MSC World America.
Until we see you again, happy sail away.
Bye.